Well, we want to continue now, going through and showing you applications with the visual symbol system. We've taught you the 1,000 pegs. Hope you're experimenting with this and working on it and getting it in your mind, because it's such a powerful aid for human retrieval and storage, learning anything you want to learn. As I told you, a doctor friend of mine from Jackson Memorial Hospital is now putting a 1,000-page book in his mind with these 1,000 pegs. It's phenomenal. Then the confidence it gives you to stand in front of the classroom and speak from memory from 1,000 pages. That's remarkable. Now, I want to continue with the applications. I said I was going to give you 7 applications there in Lesson 11. Now, I want to continue with this, but I want to combine Application 6 and Application 7 and together and show you what you can do, because on this tape I also want to introduce you to some breakthroughs in nutrition, because you are what you think. It's important to think properly, but it's also to understand that you are what you eat, what you're consuming, what you're putting into your body. It has a profound effect upon your memory, your concentration, and your learning abilities. So first of all, I want to give you some more applications. We're going to combine 6 and 7. So the things I want to teach you, the 6th thing I was going to give you for applications is historical dates. And the 7th thing is how to put a book in your mind. Can you imagine how to put a textbook or a Time magazine into your mind? So let's combine these together. So let's pretend like we have a book. You want to put a book in your mind. Let's say the book is a history book, American history book. And you're going through the book, and let's say you're at page, say, for example, you just want to start at page 6 as an illustration of how this whole thing works. Since we're on our 6th point, I want to show you with number 6. 6 for you is a picture of a monkey's tail. Now, with a monkey's tail, you want to associate all the different ideas on page 6 of this American history book. Can you imagine, let's say it's a 300-page textbook, and you're a teacher, you're a history teacher in a high school, and you want to lock this whole book in your mind. Well, you can do it with this system. This is not grandiose or something that's impossible to do. It's possible once you have a system. If you don't have a system, it's a lot of repetition over and over and over again. It's hard to lock it in your mind systematically. Now, so we have 6, the 6th page on the American history book. There are 5 paragraphs on this page. You want to take number 6 as a monkey's tail. Now you want to associate the 5 paragraphs together. You want to link them together and form a chain, this connection, this nexus with all the 5 ideas. And the 5 paragraphs deal with 5 historical dates. So we got 2 combinations in one. I want to do this for you in Lesson 12. Let's say the first date is the date of the Boston Tea Party. You're thinking, well, okay, Boston Tea Party, what is that? Then the next date is the date of when the American Revolution began. The next date was the first state to be admitted to the Union, and the date of the state, the name of the state and the date in which it was admitted to the Union. And then the 4th paragraph deals with the date when George Washington was inaugurated, so the date of his inauguration. And the 5th paragraph deals with the date, the person, the president, the 16th president, which is Abraham Lincoln, and the date of his inauguration. So you have 5 paragraphs on the 6th page of your American history textbook. So how do you do this, Jack? Well, we're going to use our visual symbol system, and the pegs we've taught you up to 1,000. And the visual symbol system, peg number 6. 6 is the 6th page. So I start with the monkey's tail. So my first paragraph deals with the Boston Tea Party. That's the idea. So I want to lock the Boston Tea Party in my mind. So the date, you see this in your book in Lesson 12, the date is 1773. Now, how do I know that? Well, 1773 for me is I know my natural memory will bring it back, that's in the 1773. I don't have an image for the 1000. I know the century in which it's in, so I don't have to. It's not in 773 A.D. I know that. I know it's 1773. Lock it in to have a concrete picture that I'm not going to forget. I want to see it, so I turn it into sunglasses. Now, what am I doing with the sunglasses? First of all, I want to have 773. So 7 in my 700s, remember from 700 to 799, the image for this, which we want to have the image that signifies the 700s is the symbol of grass. So the symbol is grass. I put grass all over my sunglasses. Let's say at the Boston Tea Party, there they are, and they have these sunglasses on, and there's grass all over them for camouflage. There they are. Hey, let's have some more tea. Yes, pass some tea here, my son. We're having tea. Said, all right, get your glasses on. Put your glasses on. We're getting ready now to go for the Boston Tea Party. Put some grass all over your glasses because we're going incognito. This is going to be the camouflage. Grass all over our sunglasses. Pass the sunglasses out now. Pass them out. Here, give me some sunglasses. So you get the sunglasses passed at the party. Woo, woo, woo. We're having this party with our sunglasses on. We have grass. This green grass, all the sunglasses, lets me know 700 is grass, 773. So we're in the Boston Tea Party. Now, the next major idea is the idea, don't miss this, the idea of what? It's the American Revolution. So we're taking our sunglasses and we're going to get on our golf cart. We're going to get on our golf cart and drive out to the green. So we're going out to Lexington Green in Massachusetts. Driving to Lexington Green in Massachusetts. So my green is my association with my golf cart. So the golf cart, it's got a golf cart, and this is camouflaged because we're having the American Revolution. It's on Lexington Green, but I'm thinking of the Lexington Green like a golf course. So I visualize a golf course. So I associate, now I have my monkey's tail. Let's have the monkeys wearing these sunglasses. That's how I'm making the connection between the page number and the first paragraph. The first paragraph, 1773, it's a Boston Tea Party. So the monkeys there, they're drinking tea, they're in this tea party, but the monkeys have sunglasses on, but the sunglasses have grass on it. Maybe they're out there like these people, men that hunt, and they have this camouflage suit on, and it's got grass all the suit as well. So you're thinking of 1773, the monkeys with sunglasses. Now the monkeys now get into a golf cart, drive out to the golf course. This is on the Lexington Green, and the golf cart has grass all over it. So the number for the golf cart is 1775 because 75 in my 70s is a picture of a golf cart. And then 775, you have grass all over the golf cart, which lets you see that it's 775. See how this works? It's tremendous if you'll work with it. It really does lock dates in your minds. I told you one of my students memorized 300 dates. That was 300 composers, the name of the composer, all their compositions, and the dates of their compositions. This was a phenomenal feat. He said, Jack, I could have never done it without this visual symbol system. Now, so we have the monkeys with the sunglasses, the Boston Tea Party at 1773. They get in their golf cart, and they're going out to Lexington Green. They're having the war there. That's the beginning of the American Revolution. Shooting out there, and they're in their golf carts, and shooting with a golf cart, with a green golf cart being camouflaged. Now they're going to take a break and drive to the deli. They're going to drive to the deli. They're driving into the deli. There in the deli, all these people have this deli wear. They're wearing what? It's a sports, like a sports deli, and they are in there and they're playing hockey. And there are hockey sticks. So they have this green grass, all the hockey sticks, and it says sports deli. And they have maybe their shirts. On their shirts, there are hockey sticks on their shirts. That's the kind of the wear they have because they're real sports fans of hockey. So you go to the deli. So deli lets me know that's Delaware. Delaware, deli sounds like Delaware for me. They're going into the deli to drive in their golf cart, which is what, 1775, that's the American Revolution, taking a break, driving into the deli. And deli lets me know that's Delaware. That's the first state to be admitted to the Union. Now, the date of that is, don't miss this is 17, okay? And then we have what? We have the picture of the hockey stick. So the hockey stick has green grass all over it. So this is 1787. So 17, again, we don't worry about the number 1. So we know it's in the 1,000 there, 1,787. 87, what is it? It's the winter theme, so that's the hockey. So we have green grass, all the hockey stick. So they're playing hockey in the deli, and that stands for Delaware. And they love hockey, and they're hockey enthusiasts. So that's like a sports deli. So I'm associating that with the pegs as we go back through and link the whole thing together. Let's go back and link it together. 6 is a monkey's tail. It's wearing these sunglasses with what? Green grass on it. That's telling me it's what? That is the image of what? This is the Boston Tea Party. Very good. Then the Boston Tea Party, they're going into their golf cart, driving to Lexington Green. In Lexington Green in Massachusetts, we have the American Revolution. And that is 1775 because of the golf cart. Good. They're driving the golf cart into the deli. And into the deli now, what do we have? We have the picture of, don't miss this, this is deli ware, so that's Delaware, and they are what? Hockey enthusiasts, green grass all over the hockey stick. So that's 1787. Very good. There are 2 prominent individuals in the deli. Here's George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. They're standing together and have their arms around one another. Let's have Lincoln. There he is with a vine. It's a very cold vine he's holding on to. Maybe he's doing some acting, like he's Tarzan. He has this cold vine, and he's swinging on this cold vine. He's standing beside George Washington, and George Washington has a pipe. And this pipe, there's a camouflage pipe. It has grass on the green grass, all the camouflage pipe. So the 2 men are standing in the deli, the 2 presidents. George Washington has his arm around Abraham Lincoln. So that's the next 2 paragraphs. And so I link in with the deli, so I say George Washington first, and he has his pipe. So pipe lets me know what? That is the number, don't miss this, 89 is pipe. Your image for pipe is the number 89. So we have grass all over that, so that's 1789. So that's the date in which George Washington was inaugurated. Very good. See how this works? You link it in your mind. You see it in your mind's eye. Then next, what do we have? The next we have Lincoln. He has his arm around Lincoln. So Lincoln's doing some acting, and Lincoln's dressed up like Tarzan. Here he is. Whoa! So he's beating him in the chest like Tarzan. He has his Tarzan outfit on, like these skins, animal skins. And he has this vine he's holding onto, but the vine is like a frozen vine. It's a very cold vine. So frozen tells me, ice tells me what? That's my 800s. 800 to 899 is ice. So now I want you to visualize ice all over the vine. So Abraham Lincoln's holding onto the vine, and there's ice on this, and he is posed like as Tarzan. He's acting, and so that's a icy vine. So that means he was inaugurated when? That is what? This is 1800 now. This is 1861 because we have the ice vine. Vine is 61 in our visual symbol system, and it's icy vine. That means it's 8. 8 is my winter theme. So it's 861. So that's 1861. So you link them all together and chain it together in your mind's eye. That's how you memorize what? A great application for historical dates, and also for taking and putting a book in your mind. It's so fantastic. You can put an entire book in your mind. That's page 6 of your history book. You can do the same thing with all the pages, 300 pages in your history book. And as I'm linking together, I showed you how you take each paragraph. Let's say on that page of your American history book, you have 6 paragraphs, or here we had 5 paragraphs. Then we're linking all 5 historical dates together. We have the monkey wearing the sunglasses, the grassy sunglasses. That's the Boston Tea Party, 1773. Then they're driving, they're going into their golf cart, and that's camouflage golf cart, and that is what? 1775. That's the date of the American Revolution, Lexington Green, Massachusetts, the state. And now we're going and driving the golf cart into the deli. That's the first state to be admitted to the Union, is Delaware. And that is, the date is 1787 because the hockey stick. They're hockey enthusiasts, and the green grass all the hockey stick. So that's 1787. Now, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln are there standing in the deli with their arms around one another. Maybe somebody's taking pictures of them. And what's the date of George Washington's inauguration? He has his pipe, and there's this color green with his grass all over the pipe. And so he's smoking that. And so that's what? That is 1789. Then Abraham Lincoln's there with this icy vine. The vine is 61, ice is 8, so that's 1861. Fantastic. That links them all together in your mind. So this shows you applications, how you can use this. Historical dates, we say the periodic table, driver's license, any numbers you want to lock in your mind, telephone numbers. This is the system to do it. So use this, practice this. First of all, in lesson 10, get all the 100 pegs in your mind, 0009, and then all the way to 99. Lock those in your mind. Make sure you really have that. And then in lesson 11, the 1,000 pegs, lock that in your mind, the symbols for that, and practice this here in lesson 11, the applications, and part of lesson 12. Now, in the next 15 minutes, what I want to do, I want to talk about something I think is very, very important for you, is nutrition. Here in this lesson, lesson 12, we have this in your book about nutrition. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about the effect that foods can have on your concentration, your memory, your mood, your learning abilities? Can they impact your learning abilities? Most definitely. There's such a major increase of students in this country having attention deficit disorder and attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADD and ADHD. It's such a proliferation of people now coming up just everywhere. They have ADD and ADHD. So could there be some connections with the food? Let's get to the cause of this. Several good books I want to recommend to you here in lesson 12 in these last few minutes that you need to buy. It'll be a phenomenal increase in your understanding for you and your child. Perhaps if you have learning problems, if you have concentration problems, if you feel sluggish, fatigued, lethargic, you just don't have the energy that you used to have. Maybe you have some type of fatigue syndrome. And you think, well, what can I do, Jack, to really get out of this? I want the energy. My child's not doing as well in school. Well, foods are very important. There's a couple of books I recommend to you. The first one is Dr. William Crook. He's a board-certified pediatrician. His book is Help for the Hyperactive Child. He says there's 4 areas that parents need to look into that could be hurting your child's performance. 4 areas. One, he said, improper nutrition, such as your white sugar and white bread products. This is one thing he said we need to really look into. Perhaps there's a connection there that's hurting the child. There's a lot of research that shows there's things that can hurt your child in that area, that there are allergies to these things. Then next, he said food allergies and food sensitivities. And next, environmental toxins, herbicides and pesticides is the third area that can hurt your child's learning performance. And the fourth is prolonged use of antibiotics. Let's look at these briefly. Well, let me state a disclaimer at the outset of this section in nutrition. I am not a doctor. I'm not prescribing anything at all. You want to make sure that you do ask your physician about the things I'm talking about in this lesson that are written for you, the things that I'm saying. Do not take anything until you consult your physician. I'm not prescribing. I'm simply saying these things may help you because they have helped other people. There's a lot of good research on this for people that are looking for answers, alternative answers. See, many of our doctors are not exposed to the nutritional side, the schooling. There's not enough education in schooling. And we're looking at today at ADD and ADHD, just give them Ritalin, like it's a panacea, one medical drug that's going to help everything. And a lot of parents are saying, I want to go the natural route. So another book I'd recommend to you is Dr. Ronald Hoffman. His book, The Natural Approach to Attention Deficit Disorder. Fantastic book. Another book is The Body Ecology Diet by Donna Gates. It's a phenomenal book. And another book you want to get is The Learning Connection by Stephen Shapiro. That's a phenomenal book, The Learning Connection by Stephen Shapiro. Another one of Dr. William Crook's books is The Yeast Connection. Such a very, very important book to have in your library. And Udo Erasmus' book, Fats That Heal and Fats That Kill. Let's go back to these 4 areas that Dr. Crook talked about in his book, Help for the Hyperactive Child. First one is the food. He said improper nutrition. So you have improper nutrition, white sugar and white flour products. With this, you see the sugar in the system, it can build up in the intestines, and the sugar, you can feed the yeast. When your yeast grows on sugar, yeast has to have the sugar to grow, and also the white flour and white bread, the pastas, the pizzas, all these things, alcohol, coffee, the salts, the tea, the sugar. This is what feeds the yeast in the system. So we have an overgrowth of yeast in our intestines. This creates the candida, and the candida is a result of the overgrowth of yeast. And so you don't have the beneficial bacteria. you have the overgrowth of the bad bacteria, and it starts taking over in the colon, and it can actually permeate the colon, put little holes in the colon, and then all these toxins go into the bloodstream, and they go out into your joints and settle in the joints and actually crystallize in the joints, where you can't move. It causes arthritis in the fingers and the elbows and the knees and the back. It's just incredible what can happen to you with this putrefaction going from your intestines because the overgrowth of yeast in your intestines, and then going out from your intestines and permeating the intestine wall and going into the bloodstream and giving you these toxins. And it also can cause the research in this and causing cancer and just a multiple of problems that you can have. Your headaches, the constipation from this because you're not digesting. And you're cooking at this, all these pathogens, you're cooking them 98.6 degrees, 24 hours a day, 24/7, and this permeating through your whole system. This is terrible how it affects the brain. And you want to focus on eating foods that are your vegetables, fruits, and staying away from foods that are going to put you also into an acid state. See, the acid state. See, in our system, we need to have a balance between acid and alkaline. When you're in an acid state, this feeds the yeast. That is the alcohol, the teas, the coffees, the sugars, the salts, the pastas. It actually puts you in an acid state, and it feeds the yeast, keeps the yeast alive in your system. It causes what's called the leaky gut syndrome, where it's actually leaking out of your intestines. They're not holding everything in there. It permeates the intestines wall and then putrefies your system. All these pathogens go into your system and you can't think. You're cloudy, you're lethargic, listless, you're sleepy all the time. So it's really terrible. So how to get into this alkaline state is eating the vegetables, especially the greeny. The greener they are, the better. They're saying I'm alive in nutrients. Green vegetables, your fruits, they're high in the substances that create this alkaline state. You want to be in an alkaline state. Also, red meat. This puts you in an acid state, and it also feeds the yeast. The yeast keeps on growing. That candida stays in your system. So you want to kill the yeast. You kill the yeast by not feeding it. You don't feed it the sugars, the white bread, the meats, the alcohol, the tea, the coffee, your candies. You back away from this stuff from your children, and this will kill the yeast in the child's intestines. So crucial to do this. Now, he said the first thing was what? He said improper nutrients. So you stay away from these things. Then he said next, food allergies here. And the food things, the food allergies, for example, you have corn, wheat, chocolate. Children can be allergic to these things. The wheat is something that there's a protein in the wheat called peptides. And the peptides protein, it releases into your system, and it connects to the opium receptors in the brain. This is amazing, opium receptors in the brain. And it causes the child to be listless and lethargic because he's allergic to the what? To the wheat. So it's important to have your child tested, have blood tests for this. And there's a blood test called RAST, and you want to have two variations of that. It's the IgE test and the IgG test. It's important to have the blood test, and also the skin test for the food allergies is important for that. And do your elimination diet is crucial to find out which food your child is allergic to. So the food allergies. Then you have also the herbicides, the pesticides. We talked about this. The environmental toxins. Environmental toxins such as lead. Have your child tested for lead? If there's too much lead in the system, or is any lead in the system? Lead, mercury, cadmium. The cadmium is a substance, a toxic environmental substance that have used it with fillings in teeth, also with mercury. There's one woman, she said, my child I'd like to have him tested for environmental toxins. So the doctor tested the child, and the child was heavy with mercury. And the lady said, well, we don't feed him any tuna that might have mercury in it, any fish, or he hasn't been around mercury at all in his life. Then they found out that when she was pregnant, at the first few weeks of pregnancy, she put many fillings in her teeth, had many fillings at the dentist, and the dentist had the mercury fillings. So the doctor concluded, well, the mercury came from your system and then went into the fetus, and that's why he is high in mercury. So you can go through chelation. Folks, what you can go through your doctor and talk about a chelation process for you or your child, and it strips out all the lead, the mercury, the cadmium, and takes this out of your system. The chelation is very important. Now, he said also that you have the food allergies. It's important to be tested for this, go through all the tests for the allergies. Then the environmental toxins Dr. Crook talked about, and then antibiotics. So the antibiotics, prolonged antibiotics, are these medicines that children take for ear infections, the antibiotics, that throws off the balance of the intestinal flora, that you starts killing off the good bacteria, and then again the bad bacteria with the yeast, the candida, grows up in your system. So it's crucial to go through your system and feed it your good bacteria. Your kefir is great bacteria. Your acidophilus is a good bacteria to start balancing out the colon. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is the whole food. See, we're talking about vitamins, and in this chapter 12, in this lesson 12, you'll see different vitamins and herbs we recommend to you. It's very important to take these. However, it's not the sole answer. Even though our soils are depleted from the vitamins and the minerals, the nutrients in the soil, it's not like it was 200 years ago, 100 years ago. It is important to take the vitamins and minerals and the supplements. However, whole foods, all the things they discovered about whole foods, especially the phytochemicals in the food. Phytochemicals are these micronutrients that are only present in your whole foods. They're in your vegetables, your fruits, and these are the micronutrients that actually protect the plant. So if you eat broccoli, there's all these phytonutrients inside the broccoli. And the carotenoids, these are all phytochemicals. These phytochemicals, they protect the plant from stresses such as the sun, diseases, animals eating on it, bugs eating on the plant. These are things, the phytochemicals, protect it from these stresses. And all this research now is saying that we need whole foods to get the phytochemicals. So you don't get the phytochemicals and the carotenoids in your vitamins and your minerals supplements. They're not there. So these are very, very important for you to take. So another book, quickly, is Udo's Erasmus book, Fats That Heal and Fats That Kill. He says there's two fats that you need, two major fats. They call essential fatty acids. This is omega-6 and omega-3. The linoleic acid is omega-6. Then the alpha-linolenic acid is omega-3. You want to have these in balance. And the best oil for you to take is called hemp oil, because the hemp oil, you don't have the THC in the hemp oil. There's no bad side effects like you would have with marijuana. There's no toxic side effect when it's in the oil form, but it's the best balanced oil on the planet for your system. And I take this every day, and it helps in the absorption of all your minerals and your vitamins. It's a crucial oil for you to take and have into your system. It's very, very crucial. So he talks about in his book, Udo Erasmus says that the things we need is about 50 nutrients we have to have in our system. He says the major groups, you have your food, you have your water, and you have air and light. Food, water, air, and light. You need to expose to these. In food, you have your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. And of your fats, of the calories you take in every day, you need to have about 15 to 20% fats. That's a combination, the balance of your omega-6 and omega-3. Now, take this tape and the things we have on this side and get this down your mind. It'll help you immensely for your learning. And make sure that you want to buy all the books we're recommending to you. This will help you immensely in your learning for you and your child, especially Udo Erasmus' book, Fats That Heal and Fats That Kill. That will help you in learning foods to add and foods to avoid for your concentration, your child's concentration. So now we're ready to go into Lesson 13. So go over Lesson 12, learn these things, look in the book about the nutritional supplements we're suggesting for you to take. Get these and you'll see a tremendous help in your mind. So let's go now to Lesson 13.